So, what are we doing? We're just gonna say
his name, his titles, and this
here, look at me.
It's your man, Fabian John, in the Phoenix studios doing our thing. I'm with Nathaniel Baptist.
I'm Nathaniel Baptist, lead illustrative designer at Regiment 53 and this g.r.i.t TV.
What's up, my man? So, where does the name come from for the studio, Regiment 53?
Regiment 53 came from my old basketball jersey number was 53, Park Rose High School. Nobody was wearing that number. If you remember, like back in early 2000,
yeah.
it was number 323.
Yeah. You wanted whatever numbers. You didn't want to be.
Not 53.
Nobody. Yeah. Nah.
So
that was like the power forward that couldn't play, and the center that was. Yeah.
I'll never forget. Me and a couple of my homeboys, we went down to PCC to try to get on.
Yeah.
We thinking, we're gonna get on and we're gonna play some college ball. And the coach came up and he was like, "Yo, where y'all from?" And we were like, "Oh, we're from Park Rose and da." He was like, "Yo, I never heard of that. Who are you?" And we were
so anybody that was back when Park Rose was fresh to the scene.
This was the Jeff days.
Yeah.
This was
It ain't the Park Rose today.
No, it's not. From that 53, I just made that my thing. I started turning into a B, and I was like, "Yo, this is gonna be my groove. It don't matter." And so me and my homie a long time ago, we were like, Regiment 53, Regiment 53. And then I looked up what regiment meant, small military unit within a bigger unit in an army. And I just figured that it's more of a bigger unit of creatives, and we're just a smaller unit within that creative army.
That's dope.
And then it's also the flip side of it, regiment, continuous action. And so basically that's what it is. It's what is your regiment? And that's one of our tags. It's just, what is it on your day-to-day that you do? Because this is what I do. And I'm trying to do it on a consistent level of right now I wake up to this, to this, to this, to this.
No, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think we all, as artists, are trying to get to that point where that's what we do. So until then, it's just, you always got to ask yourself, what is your regiment every day? And that'll give you kind of the blueprint to where you're messing up or where you're succeeding or what you need to cut off or what you need to move forward on.
Yeah. Does that go play a factor at all to you? You said it kind of regiment, the small army within one. Does that go into like your creation process as well? When you think about the title of the studio?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm, if anything, I think any artist on any level or whatever medium you have the access now to know who your peers are. You have the access now to know where you, what crew you stand in. And if you happen to be an artist of any kind, but you have that hip hop in you, you know that it's competitive. So that's where my drive is. Every time I see a movie, another drawing or whatever, because I have the access now. Back in the day, you had to, wait a couple months to see the trailer in the movie or whatever. Yeah. But now it's like back to back to back. So I'm always looking at, what's that height? What's this height? What's this?
Yeah.
Whether it's music, drawing, whatever it is, so that I can, again, go back to my childhood and say, well, why don't I do it this way?
Yeah.
Why don't I present it that way? But it's also something that can, depending on the person, it can be overwhelming. Which I've gone through that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not immune to that either. It can get overwhelming, but if you had that regimen, you'll be all right.
Especially independently.
Yeah.
When you're working who's involved in Regiment 53, which you mentioned your brother.
All right. Right now it's a trio. It's my brother, he's the writer, script writer. Me, I'm the artist, illustrator, of course, and then my business partner, Blaine, which handles all the paperwork and all that good stuff, all the stuff behind the scenes I don't want to deal with.
I hear you.
He get the bottle and all that.
What was, I would say, the one piece of work or comic, one thing that you saw that kind of guided you in that direction?
That would definitely be Image Comics. I was in middle school, I'll never forget. when I looked at the comic, it was like nothing I ever saw. It was me and my brother said that it was called extreme drawing, which was a lot of pouches, a lot of lines, a lot of like detail in the characters with little to no story that really mattered. It was just a cool looking book. And that was the moment when I actually started to finesse my drawing more towards more reality based and more muscles and more like what his fingers like and feet and faces and all that. So it kind of gave me a little bit of direction. And then after that, we started to get into a lot of anime. Now my inspiration is more so, I would say my brother, just because his stories that he writes puts me in this sort of headspace that forces me to think of things that I wouldn't normally have drawn. As far as like the book we're working on now, we're going into a sci-fi, cyberpunk, horror type of thing, whereas I'm more used to drawing more elegant still life stuff, so it kind of forced me to have to learn this new medium and relating some form of information to the viewer. That wasn't like a cookie cutter where you could be like, oh yeah, that's just like that, or that's just like that. I wanted to bring sort of this new take on anything that has a genre, because I'm trying to make it to where it's genreless, where you're gonna, one person will say it's this, one person will say it's that, one person will say it's that, because I want to relate to everybody in a different way.
Right.
So, and that's a lot of what I pulled from various places, anime, comics, movies, everything.
That's why the pictures look like prints. People are like, man, you drew that? That looks like you printed it. It's like, yeah, because I go over the line like 1 billion fucking times.
Now, to be honest with you, now I've developed this new way of drawing it where I will now bounce around pages and I'll do things that I find, oh, this excites me a little more, this face shot, and then go back and do this body shot and kind of move around a little bit.
Yeah.
In the first book, I didn't do that. I was doing panel. And I found that actually is very, very draining.
Yeah, it seems structured.
Yeah. It's like you make a club song, and then you make another club song, and another club song, and then you get another beat, and then you talk about, yo, let me do a love song now. You're not gonna have that.
Figured out how to get the transfers to go on the shirt where you had to iron them.
Yeah.
And so we would do that, man. Like I would be ironing some shirts, he would be screen pressing some, and we would get like a good 20, 25 shirts or whatever, and go down to Saturday Market. And then there was that first weekend, we actually sold a shirt, but we sold it by a booth. And the dude came up and was like, yeah, you guys can't be here. Do you have a booth? And we were like, nah. He was like, yeah, you got to stand over here. So if we would have been able to actually be in the market, we would have made money, man. But we was over there by the fountain, you know, like trying to get people's attention. And, but we still sold, 5 or 6 shirts every time we went down there. I'll sell a couple mixtapes or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah. Go down there broke and leave with like 30, 40 bucks. That was cool. That was a hustle.
Takes up all my time. This comic book.
You ever done shows?
Yeah. Last year we hit it pretty hard. We did I Like Comic Con. We did Saturday Market a couple days there, and those. To be honest with you, it's more like a pop up, where it's more about getting the images in people's hands, less so about profit, which any businessman who watches will be like, yeah, that's. But you gotta do what you gotta do in the beginning, and that's just to get that word of mouth going and getting people to actually look at it. And people are just more inclined nowadays to do that if you can have those postcards that I have, like you probably seen at work, that you hand out, or pop in my trunk and being like, yo, here's some prints for $5 and hustling it off, because otherwise it's gonna be how it was my whole life, and that's a lot of drawings under my bed. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's time to give it to folks.
We've had discussions about, your art and illustrations and the potential that you possibly could have to latch on to like a major distributor or, production company. But I mean, one of the things I've always respected about you the most was the integrity and the grit that you have to kind of stay independent, to hold on to your creative aspect, and not really have anybody shape, or tell you what you're gonna create.
Or
Do you feel like that goes into, that's one of the biggest driving factors as a starving artist? That's what kind of makes a starving artist, is holding on to that integrity.
I don't know if I fit into that. I'm more of a starving artist by default, just because I tend to have, and it's a thing that I gotta keep balanced because it can be costly as far as it goes for other people that come into your life as an artist. There's a certain level of neglect that you have when it comes with your relationship with them because you're so married to this outlet. So
it's a huge commitment.
In all regards, in work and everything that I've done in my life, it's all been sacrifice for what I do as far as like being an artist. And I don't recommend it. It's unhealthy.
Trying to create a doll to have sex with, but he ends up getting the wrong brain, and the doll ends up fucking killing him because the doll's a fucking serial killer. And nobody's trying to touch that, man. You start dealing with children and these sexual themes with the child from the pictures that you see in here. And the places I had to go to even create that shit. It's fucking disturbing. So I don't think somebody's gonna put their eggs in that basket. Because why would you? There's so much other things you can do that people will just blindly spend their money at. You know, I'll have to tell you.
Would you be willing to draw, like if DC or Marvel or somebody came and offered you a big enough check, would you say, all right, I'll draw X-Men, I'll draw Wolverine, or I can draw Spider-Man or Superman or whatever?
I wonder about that.
Yeah.
I think they have to. I don't think they would give me the freedom that I would want. I know how to draw anatomy and hands and all this and exactly how to do it, but there's a billion people that know how to do that. Right. So my whole thing is like, how do you make that significant to you, where you could just end it?
So what is the ultimate goal? Is it, would you say now at this point in your career, in your life, is it monetary or is it self-gratifying? Is it a little bit of both?
I gotta direct a full length, either short animated movie or something like that. I'm not sure how I'm gonna jump into that, but I got a couple years to lock it down. But that was my goal from the beginning of this, because when I saw it in my mind as a film, as a motion picture.
I can easily see it being a dope.
If you look at it, really, it's just a storyboard. It's not really a comic per se. It's more of a storyboarded animated movie, if anything. It's what I see anyway. People might see it a little different, but that's probably the biggest goal that I have, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to get across to the people the message that I have to give, that I've been so long wanting to give to people.
Right. Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah.
Which is pretty much, if you're a kid or whatever you are, who you are, what you are, don't matter. There's pieces of paper everywhere. There's pencils everywhere, and that's how I started. And I'm gonna try to make something happen just from that.
Dope.
Yeah. No college, no school, no nothing. Yeah. Straight from the ground.
Just the
hip hop to the core.
So one more time, just tell people the website, where to go to check out all your work.
www.regiment53.com. The Instagram is regiment_53. But if you go to our website, the Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter, those are the main social media outlets I use. But all of those are linked in the website. Our Redbubble store is linked in the website, so you can get some cool clothes there. You can get some prints. You can get some clocks. You can get some socks. You can get some blankets. And all of the work on Redbubble was designed by me, so it wasn't just some pre-made thing that they did. I designed everything. They're really cool. And we have some of our own hand-designed stuff that I came up with, that I did from the ground up on our website, that we actually manufacture ourselves. Some of the shirts like that you have on, and then also some shirts that are promoting the comic book that's coming out, where it comes from, so you can find that on the website.
The comic is
where she comes from and X Reckoning. It's a double feature.
Word.
So you get a nice little 2-for-1.
Yeah.
And again, if you go to the website and you look at the teaser, you can see where it breaks off and you go into one story and then you go into the next. They aren't tied together. They aren't together or anything like that. All it is just a double feature.
Word.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what's up. Bruh, I appreciate that shit. This is great TV, man.